This is breaking news coverage right now on TV6 and Fox UP. This is TV6's Andrew Lacombe. I'm at UP Health System Marquette underneath the Skywalk. I know it is a little dark in here, but there is some mist outside. So we're underneath here. We're covering the end of the UPHS Marquette nurses strike. 48 hours after it began, the strike is scheduled to end. You can obviously hear many of the nurses behind me here. I'm joined by one of them, one of the lead bargainers, Stephanie DiPietro. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Andrew.
So tell everyone just what is happening right now as we're minutes away from the strike scheduled to end.
So behind me, I have my fellow nurses behind us. We're ending our strike here at 6:59 this morning, and we have some nurses that are scheduled to work this morning, ready to go back to work.
Now, my understanding from talking to some of these nurses is they were scheduled to work at 7 o'clock, but they were called off their shift because the hospital says it's fully staffed with temporary nurses. What is going to happen here? What's your reaction to that news?
Well, our nurses are here. They're on the schedule. Our strike ends officially this morning at 6:59, and our nurses are ready to go back to work. I find it appalling that this hospital is choosing to staff our hospital with agency staff that do not know our patients, do not know our community.
Everyone's been here. People have been on the picket lines for 48 hours now. What's the emotion of this group of nurses?
We have felt so much support from this community. We are so proud to be here in this hospital working for our community. We want to say thank you to everybody who's shown up, who's brought donations, who's walked that line with us to let DLP know that we need safe staffing and we need it right now.
You've gotten a lot of community support, people stopping by, people calling, dropping things off. How does that make you feel going forward?
It makes me feel really good to know that this community understands. They see what happens in these four walls of this hospital. We take care of them and they see that, and they're standing with us to say this isn't acceptable to them either.
Okay. And as far as bargaining goes after this, first with this development of these nurses who say they're scheduled to work today and the hospital is not going to have them work, what does that mean for bargaining going forward?
Well, as of right now, we don't have any dates set by the hospital to come together and meet, but we're waiting for that phone call. We need to sit down and get this contract done and get this hospital staffed safely.
Okay. So as we continue here again, we're live outside UPHS Marquette underneath the Skywalk. It's very loud, a little dark in here, so we're trying to give you the best coverage we can right now of this ending of this 48-hour strike. At 7 o'clock, a group of nurses that's scheduled to work today is planning to go into the hospital. The hospital says it is fully staffed with temporary nurses that were brought on for 5 days. The hospital says under their agreement with the company that had to be a 5-day agreement. So that is what the hospital is saying this morning. Stephanie, here just a moment away from this beginning. A lot of people here, I mean definitely more than 100. There's 400 registered nurses at the hospital, a lot of strong participation through this strike.
Oh yes, we've had full support from our nursing staff. We've had support from our union brothers and sisters across this county. We've had union support from unions all over the UP, even as far as U of M downstate. Those nurses came to walk with us.
I know some of the laborers from the new hospital construction project joining the picket line the last couple of days. So yeah, like you said, support from teachers and a lot of people in Upper Michigan. Obviously, everyone watching to see a huge employer here in the Upper Peninsula community and a lot at stake.
Yes, there is. I mean, our nurses here take care of this entire Upper Peninsula. It's just not the Marquette area. We get patients all the way from Ironwood to Sault Ste. Marie, and we are so proud to take care of those patients.
Have you heard anything from people who have been inside the hospital in the last couple of days? Any reaction?
We are out here focusing our efforts on the safe staffing effort. We do have friends and coworkers inside cheering us on, giving us kind words of support, and we appreciate our coworkers who are inside helping take care of those patients for us.
Okay. So as we keep watching here, what's about to happen is as the strike ends, we're going to keep going with our coverage here. I think we can give you a live look from another camera we have set up down here from TV6's Nicole Buckman, who's been covering the strike. Right now, the nurses are heading towards the main entrance here in the Nellberg building. I'm going to keep following here. If we can walk a little this way, we've got dozens of nurses who are heading to walk in to the Nellberg building here at UP Health System Marquette. And I'm going to keep walking here to just give you an idea up close of what we can see and what's the reaction going to be. Okay, talking to nurses. All right.
I don't know what to do. The doors are locked.
The nurses are telling us the doors are locked here.
So the doors are locked.
We have plenty of people to unlock the doors if we look in there. So we don't know what's going on because they told us the hospital's term was we're not locked out. But I don't know what not locked out is when the door is locked. Quite literally, it's locked.
You're scheduled to work at 7 a.m. this morning?
Yeah, all these nurses are,
Okay.
yes. So we would really like to join our patients, but I'm not sure what to do now. I'm confused. So I would love to see anybody from nursing supervision to come down and talk to us so we know what's going on. But we're going to work on it. We'll see because the most important things get into our patients.
Do you plan to stay here for a while, or just waiting to see what happens?
We'll see what we can do and get a hold of nursing supervision and take care of business and see what happens.
Greg Kerwin, thanks for talking to us this morning, and we're hearing some more people around us here as we continue on right now. Not sure where John, my photographer, is. You're on. Okay. All right. So we're watching here what's going on. Obviously, these nurses scheduled to work this morning. Stephanie is joining us again. What's your reaction to what's happening right now?
You know, I'm very disappointed that these doors are not open to let our nurses go in and take care of our community. Our strike officially ends this morning at 6:59. Our nurses are reporting to work as scheduled. They have been scheduled this way for quite some time. The hospital's made well aware that our strike ends at 6:59.
And Greg, for you, I mean, Scott, excuse me, that was Greg I talked to a moment ago. You know, watching these people, what's the next action you plan to take here?
Our actions are over. Our strike, as Stephanie said, ended at 7 o'clock this morning. I will say 6:59 to be precise. And as she said, we are planning on returning to work, so I'm not really sure what to make of this.
48 hours, you think you've sent a strong message to Duke LifePoint about what you stand for?
I sure hope Duke LifePoint has heard our message, but not only our message, our community members' message is that this is not okay. This is not safe.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We'll be checking in with you more throughout the morning as the situation develops here, but just want to bring everyone up to speed here. We're outside UP Health System Marquette. It's just after 7 o'clock. The nurses strike, the 48-hour nurses strike for UP Health System Marquette nurses scheduled to end at 6:59. Nurses who were set to work at 7 o'clock this morning are not being let into the hospital. The hospital reiterating this is not a lockout, according to a statement yesterday from UP Health System Marquette. If we can pull up that statement, obviously the hospital says a lockout is a situation that occurs when an employer takes preemptive action to prevent employees from working. They say this is not happening here. They say a minimum commitment of 5 days is required to secure the level of temporary nursing coverage, which therefore means we expect to be fully staffed with replacement nurses Saturday, that's today, Sunday, and Monday, October 7th, 8th, and 9th. So after these dates, the hospital says our regular nursing staff will be back at work as usual. So nurses scheduled to work this morning that were participating in the strike, not heading inside this morning. We'll keep following this story as we continue throughout today's show. This morning on TV6, if you're watching us on TV6, we also have full coverage on our TV6 and Fox UP Facebook page right now, as well as UpperMichiganSource.com and our TV6 mobile app. Again, this hospital strike here for the nurses officially over after 48 hours, but some nurses not being allowed in to work what they say is their scheduled shift here at UP Health System Marquette, so we'll keep following the story as it continues. But for now, live in Marquette, I'm Andrew Lacombe, TV6 News. We'll head back to our regularly scheduled programming on TV6. Our next update will be at 7:27 Eastern Time.